Kristen with Rogers Public Library, and this week for Catch 'em All at the library, we will be focusing on Zigzagoon. So in your craft packet, you will have your coloring page. You'll also have a piece of an egg carton, 2 small brown circles, 2 smaller black circles, a few pieces with outlines to cut out on them, a large brown and cream colored circle, a large brown ring, 2 large cream rings, and 2 pieces of paper with circles cut out of them. So the first thing we need to do is cut these pieces out, and then I will show you how to turn all of this into a zigzagoon. So once we have all our pieces cut out, we're going to start with the face. So we'll take a glue stick, and we're going to take this small black oval, and we're going to glue that to the front of our egg carton. So just pick a side and glue it along the edge. Once we have our little nose on, we're going to take our long brown piece here, and we're going to glue it all the way around the edge of the egg carton. You will have some extra, so if you would like to cut it off, you can cut off that extra part. And it's not going to lay perfectly flat around the egg carton, but that's okay. Just gonna get it on as good as we can. So I'm going to start with the center here above the nose. Just press it down and then start wrapping it around. Just press it down real good, and then if you have some wrinkles, that is fine. The wrinkles will actually kind of help it stay in its place where we put it. So once we have that glued on, and as I said, wrinkles are fine, that helps us push it into place. Then we can take our black strip here and get some glue on it. And this is going to go across the top above the side where we put the little nose. Just press that down real good, and then we can take our brown circles and put them inside the black, right at the rounded edges. And then we can take our little black circles and put them in the center of the brown circles. And then we have the zigzagoon's cute little face. Now these pieces are his little ears, so we're going to fold over a little strip at the bottom, the flat edge, and add a little bit of glue. And then we're going to put that just above each eye. Now his head is complete. All right, so the next step, we're going to take one of the cream circles and we're going to cut it in half. We're going to take our other cream circle and cut it about maybe about 1/4 of it so that we make a big C. And then this piece we're going to cut in half. Then we are going to put some glue at one end and we're going to stick that inside the egg carton head at the top of the head, and then we're going to do the same thing with the other one but at the bottom of the head. Alright, now we're going to take our C and we're going to connect the ends and overlap it until we make a nice little cone, and we're going to put that over those two pieces that we just put on, and we want to adjust the size of our little cone here so that it fits nicely inside the edges of our Zigzagoon's little pointy spikes. And once we have it the size we want, we can glue that into place so that it will stay that size. And then we're going to add some glue to our little strips here, right down towards the bottom, so that we can attach our cone to these strips. So we'll slide it into place, and then we can press the strips onto our little cone. So this is going to make the next layer of Zigzagoon's body. Now you want to leave a little space at the top where they're not attached, because we're going to cut more little spikies. So then once that's in place, just take some scissors and just cut out little triangles all around the cone. And you can make them different sizes. And if you need to go back in, if your glue's coming apart, and add some more, you can do that. But we're going to go all the way around, cutting little spikes. But you don't want to cut the strips because we still need those to attach the rest of his body. Alright, so once that's cut all the way around, we will make sure it is sticking to our little pieces we put in here. And then we have the next layer of his body. Now, we'll take our brown. We're going to do the same thing. Cut about 1/4 or a little more off. And then we're going to make another cone. And again, we want it to fit over these 2 little strips. And then under the spikes that we just made. We want to try not to leave spaces like this, but if you have to, it will be okay. But if there are spaces, then you can just push it down a little bit further and adjust the cone size as needed. Once we have that how we want it, then we'll add some glue. To keep our cone the size that we want it. And you don't have to leave it in, you can take it out. Then we can slide it back on. Into place. And then we're going to add some more glue, either to the strips or to the space where the strips will attach. And then we'll go around like we did before and cut more little triangles out to make another round of little spikes. Once we have that round of little spikes made, we're going to do one more with our other piece of tan. Just the exact same thing. Find the size you need for your cone, and then we'll cut the spikes. Once we have this last layer of spikes attached to the body, we are going to take the remaining cream paper, including our large piece, and we're just going to crumple it up into a ball. And we're going to stick it inside Zigzagoon's body to fill in all that empty space. Now this one, you want to be kind of small, so it gets in there and it can fill up the body and give it just some extra solidity here. And then we're going to do the same thing with the brown almost, but we want to keep this. This piece we're going to cut into fourths. And then for a moment, we'll set those pieces aside. And we can go ahead and crumple up our big brown piece. And this one, we want to be a little flatter. And then we're going to shape it so that it will kind of lay flat inside that last layer. To be his tail end. Now, we don't have to use glue for this piece, but we do need glue for the brown piece. However, it's going to be best to use hot glue. If you don't have hot glue, you can use tacky glue or some other kind of glue, but it's going to take a very long time to dry before you can move on to the next step. So hot glue will be best, but if that's not available to you, you'll just have to wait a long time before moving on to the next part. So we're going to take our hot glue and just put a little bit down inside here, and then take our brown, and I want to get it in there so that it fits inside pretty good, and then you can take your hot glue and go all around the edges here to keep this brown beauty in place. And just be very, very careful with the hot glue, because we don't want anyone getting burned. Alright, then you might want to blow on it to help it cool off a little faster. Just hold that piece in place until it's good. Or if you're using tacky glue or school glue, you're just going to have to set it. You can leave it sitting nose down until it's all dry. Once that's dry, I'm going to take these two circles. We're going to take our cream one and cut right to the center, and then we're going to just roll that up to make a cone. And this will be Zigzagoon's tail, so however fluffy you want the tail to be is what size you'll make your cone. Some glue on it to seal up our cone shape. And then again, we're going to cut those little spikes. Once we have our spikes cut, we're going to take our brown circle, cut to the center, and then we're going to make that into a cone as well. But we want this one to fit onto our pale one, so it'll need to be smaller. And once you think that it will fit nicely Then we can go ahead and add our glue. And then we're going to cut spikes into this piece as well, all the way around. Then we can add some glue to the outside of our pale cone. And then stick it inside our brown cone to make Zigzagoon's tail. We'll set the tail aside for a moment and turn him upside down so he's laying on his back. And this is where these little pieces come in. And these are going to be his feet. So I'm just going to ball them up too into small pieces, small little balls. And then again, this works best with hot glue, but if you don't have hot glue, you can use something else. You'll just have to wait a long time for it to dry. We're going to add these little pieces to be his feet. Once we have his little feet on, he'll be able to stand up, and then we just need to add the tail. So if you do not have hot glue, you can add the tail so that it lays down, and then it will still be attached. It'll still be adorable. If you do have hot glue, you can make his tail stand out more. And again, if you do not have hot glue, it will just take a long time to dry, but it will still work. If you do have hot glue, add some to the center, and then we're going to just stick his tail on there. And then hold it in place while it dries, and you can blow on it, of course, to get it to dry faster. And that is our craft for this week. Thank you for joining me for Catch 'em All at the library, and I will see you next time to make another Pokemon. Bye!